Well, hello and welcome back to Fortnite. Can I record this in peace? Can I record this in peace? Well, anyways. Well, maybe it was needed to the volume. I don't know. Well, anyways. So, today is going to be a little bit different. Because right now we're just going to just see and play the island that I made on the past, like, 2 weeks. And we're going to talk about the development of it. So, I guess I need to explain that for the past, like, what was it, like 3 weeks, I was in an Epic Games UEFN bootcamp. So we were like 3 weeks on that, and we had to just make an island, publish it, and then just send it in so we can get like a badge, which I assume is just like a diploma of sort, I assume. Digital, of course, right? But so this is my little chrono, like Megalodon's Demolition Derby. I think I'm going to rename it to Wasteland Royale or something like that. So just convince the idea that it's a battle royale game mode. Also, I tried to record this yesterday, but it turns out I didn't hit record when I was recording. But you know, what a shame, right? So anyway, without further ado, let's just start. Of course, I'm going to be using the guy that I have been using as the face of Fortnite related things, which is funny because this guy just released the same season when I began taking Fortnite seriously. It was Chapter 5 Season 1, especially because they were like, oh, Snake is in the game. Oh, I guess I'll just get it. Oh, it's in the Battle Pass. Guess I'll just have to get all of that. Alright. So, this time around I just activated Lumen, so you know we can get more fancy lighting. So, the sky should change in any given moment right now, because right now, yep, it's just the default, like, UEFN skybox. There are 2 sky components that usually should trigger. Like, the first one did trigger, but the second one, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I don't remember, it's just daylight, whatever, something. And the second is like sky atmosphere, which changes the color of the sky. Usually put it on a more tonal yellow, so just, you know, it looks more like you know, sand in the atmosphere and things like that. So, but again, sometimes it triggers, sometimes it doesn't. Anyways, so what is Megalodon's Demolition Derby? It's just a battle royale with a focus on cars. Mostly based on, you know, Chapter 5, Season 3's Wrecked. So, as you can see on the map, it just, would you call it quadrimetrical? Because it's not only asymmetrical, but it's like on 4 sides. You got like 4 spawns, a center fort, which allow loot and many things. But there's also like 4 different outposts. You can get more loot and different things. But there's also like other 4 corners with symmetrical, quadrimetrical design for more loot and more cars and other vehicles. So I guess first we should go into the center, right? So you know, there are always like 2 boxes. One that includes like the turret, be a grenade or the machine gun, and one that includes like the bumper. Be the cow catcher or just the spike bumper. Anyways, so you just put a bunch of loot in here so I can just play, just run into here and start grabbing stuff. So the island includes a lot of like custom loot, right? Mostly based on that season, Season 3 of Chapter 5, but a lot of other Chapter 5 items too. Especially in the modular weaponry, so you can just modify it should you wish to or have the time to. But of course, it's mostly like heavy weaponry, right? Like heavy impact sniper rifles. Also like grenade launchers, that type of deal. So I guess if you know something about Fortnite Island and UEFN, just that there's not like devices to make like the custom loot or chest. You just need to do some trickery behind cutscenes behind scenes. And this is no different. Like it's just a bunch of RNG devices connected to a bunch of triggers that decide the type of ammo and weapon you should get. I'm really surprised how good this all looks. Because when I was just doing like the lighting and whatever, I was doing it without like lumen. I was just doing with normal pre-baked lighting. Yeah, even the, you know, season 4, I believe it. No, it was season 2. It was the one of the gods. Season 1, it was like underground. Chapter 5. Okay. So yeah, like the loot is made with a tracker device. Tracks whenever you open a chest, and when you open a chest, it triggers a RNG device that chooses randomly which type of weapon you should get. Just, you know, pistols, shotguns, machine guns, SMGs, exploding, well, I call them rockets, but you know, just exploding weapons, and also special weapons. And all of them also include a variant of what do you want to call it, aiming weapons, or just utilities, you know, chug jugs, shields, that type of deal. And also materials and money. So in case you want to do that. I'll be honest, if it was up to me, I wouldn't just put like bills. But I decided to leave it, if someone wants to. At least on this release. But yeah. It just chooses, it just hits a trigger with the RNG device. And that trigger, it just chooses a different RNG device. Like for example, if it falls on pistols, then it's going to hit another RNG device that then decides what type of weapon you should get, like normal. It starts with uncommon, then rare, then epic, and then legendary. One being rarer than the other, of course. So I don't know what this is here. But whatever. It's fine. Oh yeah, I don't think I saw it last time. Oh well, whatever. So just, you know, custom loot, all carnage. But I decided to also focus on mostly on vehicles, and for example, you can just drive the Octane, which I didn't know the Octane was available, but apparently it was on season 3, I think. I don't remember, chapter 4 or something, maybe even earlier. There's a device that is available, so it's like, okay, well, why not add it to the game mode? So I guess another thing I should mention is that this game mode is, I don't know what you want to call it, pretty much uses a different game mode that I was making as a base, quote unquote, the spiritual successor. It's just that starting this year I was just doing UEFN with this other collaborator, and we were making a map based on the well, essentially it's kind of the same idea, just mostly vehicle battle royale, but having like also the Octane and the rocket racing vehicle. Well, we will get on that last one in a minute. But God, the storm is coming. So yeah, I mean, we're making that. but it was mostly like a university for learning for me because I knew nothing about Fortnite and UEFN like creation. So for the first couple of months, I just spent them learning the thing. Oh jeez. Okay, this is I mean stone circle, okay. Well, a tweak I will do later on, right? Anyways. To spend those like, what was it, like 4 months or something, learning mainly Unreal, UEFN. UEFN stands for Unreal Engine for Fortnite, okay, so I spent those first months learning UEFN, just how it works, how it can handle the thing. Because learning Unreal is kind of like university education type thing, okay? This is kind of like, it's a big software. But after those months, I think I got a good hang of it. At least to know where to find what and just how to put things together, mostly. And the idea on that map that we were making, that we have yet to release, is just making like a vehicle-based battle royale. But you know, by now I think that project, I'm not going to say it's tainted or that it will never see the light of day, but it feels like too unclean in comparison to this one, because this one, I started it from scratch, like empty map, just the grid floor and the 2 spawns, and that's it. So you know, I learned about how to do like custom terrain, materials, and all that fun stuff. So the idea is kind of the same as the other one, anyways. But you know, just compact and quick to be done. So when the bootcamp just starts, it was just like 3 hours every day, Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Which was the thing, honestly, because whoever imported like the course like are from Europe. Exactly, I don't know exactly where from Europe, but clearly the schedule is a lot different from here, because there were like 2 type of classes, either one at 1 a.m. to 4 p.m. or 1 to 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. and it's like, oh god. But I chose the morning classes, and I stick with that schedule for the 3 weeks. The first week it was just like class per se. They were just teaching us about UEFN, the basics and whatever. The last 2 weeks it was just workshop, just work on your idea, mostly, because instead of 3 hours a day, it was going to be like 1 hour a day. Same schedule, just 7 to 8, at least for me. You know, interesting, interesting things to get. Alright, Jesus. Well, anyways, so, well, I assume that if there were people around, we will have used each other already a couple of times. You only get 3 lives, by the way, on this game mode. And, well, I just decided to make something that it can be polished and made within that time frame, okay, 2 weeks. I said something among the lines of, don't blow this thing, just, you know, just release something that can be just polished. I'm trying to make, like, most complex game mode ever in the existence of mankind, which is something that one of the developers said, that at first you want to make everything modular, have a bunch of options or whatever, but you should focus first on just making a release. Which wise advice, honestly, especially with a time limit. Because by the end of the 3rd week, on Sunday, we had to just had this thing already uploaded, published, and then send it through to the people running the course on a formulator, if that's what you call it, and just have it sending by Sunday. Like, I guess it's like two-step progress, right? Oh, what the hell? Oh yeah, it's just that's out of bounds then. Oh well. Yeah, like, I don't know. Alright. A little more bug testing that I need to do. Well, I'm pretty sure by then you people will have already killed each other. Oh, excuse me, eliminate each other. Looking at what Fortnite terms, they don't kill each other, they eliminate them. So, well, yeah, because I want like people to just have options when playing this. Like, for example, I mean, I'm going to use badmouth UEFN for a second here. But for example, when you are making like content for Halo and you make a map in Forge, usually you just put on the map where the flags are, where the oddball is, where the team's latest spawns are, where the heals are, and whatever. And anything that the user wants to play, they can just choose it on the menu. You can choose the map and then you choose the game mode and then load it up. However, Fortnite does not allow that. As it currently is, you can only just make technically one game mode, and if you want the player to do anything else, it needs to be within the island, not out of it. It needs to be in, which is, I will say, kind of silly, because for example, Battle Royale, within the menu you can choose whether you want it to be builds or not builds, solos or with teams, ranked or not ranked, and some other option, I think. But not with UEFN Island, which I think is just a missed opportunity, to be frank. So just give us a chance to just do that. Because then, what this thing is missing is a pre-game lobby, where players can choose whether they want this to be a team game or not, a straight-up deathmatch, have Storm or not, so on and so forth, right? I would like to add that, but it will have to be later. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's going to be on a different release. And also, when I was first making this, because two players can spawn over here, right? One over here, one over there, and each time you spawn, a car spawns. It was not like this, and there will always be a car spawning. Like, it will spawn and a car will already be there. However, like, I assume that causes a considerable performance hit, because as you know, this is like a 64 player arena, so that means that there's at least 64 car devices on all 4 spawn pillars. So you know, that's a performance hit, I'll say. So what I decided to do for the release is just disable the car spawners, and then when a player spawns, enable them and spawn a car. Which, quite the thing, right? So anyways, I think I should just do a lap. Just so you just can see. So this is just the Leviathan shape of Megalodon, just, you know, classic landmark. And well, this is a different corner. The corners are again asymmetrical, quadrimetrical, whatever you want to call it. So just, you know, they should be like mostly similar, and it should give players that spawn on the 4 pillars to get a chance to go wherever they want and loot whatever they want. Also, I put these little ramps with car car parts, car boxes over. I think I'm just going to change them a little, because right now it's always random. And I think that, you know, sometimes you can get two of the same item if you just go over there, and it's like, it could be a little inconvenient. And well, this is like the rocket base spawner. So that's the Octane Bay. Again, a similar corner as the other one. And right now we're going to go to the Nitrodrome. However, the Nitrodrome does not come with all of the parts, you know, because usually the Nitrodrome also has like flame pillars and a grinder over there. But since I did not have them on the prefab and I did not want to spend too much time making them, I just put like this meanwhile. And it can be done without too much fuss. So, you know, I'm not too worried about that. I'm pretty sure you can just do it with particles and horde boxes and whatever for the flame pillars. Also, this is like machinist, the corner. It was also like a ground corner, but I'm thinking, but the machinist always has like the rig area. Can I just do it in a quick fashion? And sure enough, I just killed myself to work and just made that rig. Come in at the right. Got it done. Now this is like the special one. This is the rocket bay, because it includes rocket racing vehicles from well, rocket racing, which is quite a thing honestly to have, because I mean these vehicles are not really made for battle royale game modes, but it's a device that you can use for your islands, and I thought, yeah, well, why not? However, if you have ever messed with this device, you know that it doesn't come with storm damage. So what happens is, you can just shoot and pour this thing in the car. It's going to handle it like normal Fortnite thing. However, if you were to get into the storm, you will not be hurt. You will be invincible inside the car. So you know, what will be the meta then? The meta will be just grab a rocket racing vehicle and just hold it out and just be there forever. However, through the magic of verse, I managed to just remove the invincibility factor from the player and just allow storm damage in. Just so you know, this was vibe coded, which means I use like AI to just code this thing, because I know zero about verse. And verse is just a language specifically made for Fortnite, with the promise that it's going to be used for Unreal Engine going forwards, which, I mean, well, that's going to be them. So, yeah. I am no programmer. I used a ChatGPT used to program this. It took like 3 nights of back and forth programming this. And here's when I say that. Remember when I said that this game mode, this island was just made spiritually from the ashes of the other one? Well, this is mostly that part. Because on the rocket racing island that I was making, that's when I found that issue of the rocket racer. That's what we're going to call this vehicle, okay? The rocket racer, because rocket racing Octane or something like that is just too much of a mouthful. Anyway, so the rocket racer was not made really for battle royale game mode, but however, like as you can see, you can just spawn it and use it. It has some functionality. So I thought, can you edit that with verse? And I was just asking ChatGPT, because I remember hearing that you could program with ChatGPT and AI. So I'm thinking, is that even true? And well, sure enough, it was. So earlier this year, so I was just with ChatGPT, just going back and forth for 3 nights straight, just hours, trying to make sure this thing works. Because here's the thing: you can disable the invincibility of the player inside the vehicle, and sure enough, storm damage is going to work, right? If you're inside the vehicle and you are getting shot at or whatever, that is not going to hurt you or kill you. If they destroy the vehicle, it's just going to despawn and just, you know, you're going to spawn out of it. No big deal, right? Whoa. Oh, wowie zowie. Megalodon atrophies. Okay, well, legendary. Anyways, so yeah, first step, easy, right? Just remove the player invincibility, and that's it, right? You're done. Well, no, you're not done, because if the player dies by unconventional damage, which is like the storm or earth volumes, the player dies inside the vehicle. The moment they respawn, they're going to respawn in such a weird state where you're going to see like the UI, like the turbo thing on the corner, and you won't be able to jump or shoot. You can build and kind of move the camera, but that's about it. And you know, that's a no-no. That's a big no-no. And also, if you get out of the car, your back bling is going to be on the floor. So what I just did is just disable back blings on the island. Whoops. But I guess we'll deal with that when we have to deal with that. Anyways, so if that's another problem. So what we had to do? What we had to do is just make sure the player did not die inside the vehicle. So for that, we just decide to make it so the moment you reach 20 HP, you get a warning saying that just, you know, the vehicle is going to get freaking repossessed. And then at 10 HP, you will be getting kicked out of the car. There it is. 10 HP, you get kicked out, and then that's it. You're done. You're done. So, which that's it, right? You're done. That's it. You're done. You made a failsafe. You won't get hurt by that, and you should be fine. Well, turns out, usually, as you know in Fortnite, like the storm damage can rack up of like all the way up to 20 tick, what do you call it, like 20 damage per second. If somehow the damage skips that threshold, and instead of, if you have like 11 HP and the storm does like 11 damage or 12 or 20 or whatever, you will be killed inside the vehicle. Or excuse me, eliminated inside the vehicle. Then it was like, okay, I guess we just make sure there's no amount of damage that surpasses 10 HP. Like the maximum the storm can do is just 10 HP. So we just made it up to that. Just, okay, there won't be any non-conventional damage sources that does more than 10 HP, so you don't get eliminated inside the vehicle. And that was it, right? Nope. Not quite. Because if you get inside the vehicle and you die, the same tick, then the same thing is going to happen. What do I mean? Let's say you're in the storm. You have like, I don't know, 9 HP, let's say. Or 5 HP of health. No, and then on the next tick, you're going to die because of the storm. And before that tick, you get inside the rocket racer. So what happens next is that you die inside the car. And the same thing happens all over again. So what we decide to do, me and ChatGPT. Of course, I was leading the ideas, right? I was telling the freaking AI, what if we do this? So what I decide to do is just that if you get inside the vehicle and you have like 10 HP or minus, the rocket racer is going to give you back the invincibility that it would normally give you, and then it's going to destroy the vehicle, kick you out, and the device gives you back well, removes your invulnerability when it kicks you out. So we just let that part being handled by the device itself. So when you're out, you die by the storm. So we just spend an entire burst device to make sure that the player is not invincible inside the vehicle, doesn't die inside the vehicle, but is invincible on that last 10 10 HP so you can get kicked out, be given vulnerability by the device itself, and then you die by the storm. A bunch of failsafes just to get this thing going. I don't remember when in the pipeline happened, but I think at one point you will get in, get out, and you will be completely invincible. Like, you will retain the invincibility, and it's like, I don't remember what happened on that instance, but it works. What I'm trying to say, it works now. So I did that earlier this year. So when I was just making this island, it's like, okay, I guess I can use that verse code that I made a while back. However, if it's up to me, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to do it like sometime soon, I'm just going to put this as a, I don't know, bug or whatever. So instead of having to use reverse this thing and just having to patch a bunch of leaks by hand, I would prefer if just Epic just handles that aspect, okay? Like, just going to just submit it through Fortnite support and say, hey, the rocket racer behaves in this way, in this way, and in this way. Why don't you guys just fix it, or just give us the option? What will I make the official options of the rocket racer? Well, the official options is allow just, you know, I will allow, like, I will put an option to make the player vulnerable. Of course, like, even if you're vulnerable and you get shot at, only the vehicles gets hurt, not the player. But then it allows the player to be killed by storm or hurt volumes or whatever, and I assume through Epic's backend and fixes, it will just allow that if you die, you won't get that weird state. You will just simply respawn on normal conditions. That will be that. That will be no messages, no need to whatever, because that's the other part. The whole thing of adding like a little message for the player is just so you are not confused on why your car despawned after a certain time. It was just to avoid confusion. Which was another thing I asked ChatGPT, is like, hey, can we just make like a message so the player doesn't get confused on why the vehicle despawns? It's like, oh yeah, you can just make a HUD message device and you just call it at that time and whatever, and it's like, okay, lead the way. Because again, I'm a designer, not a coder. I have some minor knowledge about code, mainly just to see it and see how it works. But if you ask me to make it, write it, I cannot. Almost like in language, when you can listen to something but you cannot like talk it. Well, anyways, I think this never has gas. I don't know why, but oh well, another thing to fix. Anyways, so yeah, that's the story of the rocket racer, but it works. It'll be fine. I was also testing this on Xbox just to see how it runs, and I remember that the moment when you get the message of the rocket racer, you can do this cool shit, okay? The moment the message spawns of police insurance or whatever, everyone on the server will see it, and I'm like, oh no, don't tell me we have to use first debug this shit. So I'm just talking to ChatGPT and it's like, help me out, this is happening. And the ChatGPT is like, okay, we need to check this and this, but make sure the HUD message device is not just sending it to everyone. And then I look at the device and it was sending it to everyone, and I'm just putting it to send it only to triggering player, and that fixed it. And it's like, oh, okay, good, we didn't have to mess with verse, just the device. Also, when I say device, it's just that when you spawn a chest, or when you put like a car spawner or something else, these are called devices. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, I guess that's the main things I wanted to talk about regarding this. We're all going too crazy. I'm already like 36 minutes in. So, I guess what's next? What do I want to add? for next releases future. Well, first of all, I guess I want to add like a spawn island. Not because I want to make it like where we're dropping boys, but mostly because I want to make it like give players time to choose what type of game they want. Again, like if you want like team games, if you want just deathmatch only, battle royale, maybe reload. Well, technically right now it's kind of like reload, 3 lives and you respawn, and then make it like by the last storm circles, remove like the extra lives like in reload, so you're not spawning in the storm or whatever. And I will also like to add custom UI. Nothing too crazy, but something that makes you say that you're not just playing another like UEFN experience. Just okay, if it's more of a team. Part of me want to add like music probably, but I don't know about that one. I mean, could be, could not be. Okay. Also, I put like a bunch of horde triggers on the wall, on the invisible wall, so you're not wall climbing like a spider with the Octane or the Rocket Racer. It just does damage to vehicles, not players, just the vehicles. Because if I put a damage volume and it hurts you while you're inside the Rocket Racer, it's going to, same thing that I have been trying to avoid is going to happen, so you know, just vehicle damage. Which works well enough for what I'm trying to do. Then you can still clip through the wall with the Rocket Racer, but well, that's a different kind of worms. I guess I'm just going to check that then. Because I think if you just clip through the wall, fall out of bounds, you're going to get eliminated, which is going to cause the same bug as always with the Rocket Racer. Which again, I guess I'm just going to see if I can ask Fortnite support if they can fix that, or just allow us to give us the option to just a player receive damage. I'm not sure if they're going to do it because one is a device that probably is not getting supported anymore. If you try to play like Rocket Racing right now, it's dead, dude. It's freaking dead. Like you don't even get like Davies from playing that. I mean, I'm glad they didn't took it out. Just, you know, it's there, but it's kind of sad, honestly. Or some people say that maybe they should have gone like instead of that type of arcade racing mode, maybe more like Mario Kart, just with items, something like that. They're using like the Rocket League IP, but regardless, I mean, when I have faith, they could at least do something with it. Because for a good while, since the season started, maybe even before that, maybe the chapter actually, well, I don't know. Just for a good while, the Octane had this issue where it will spawn like in the air, like floating, and if you were to drive it, it will just behave erratically and just, you know, an inconvenient way for anyone using the device. And it was like that for a good while, and then I just did a Hail Mary, sent a message to Fortnite support, telling them about it, and 3 days later, on the next update, it was fixed. I'm not sure if it was because I sent it through a video, or if they already had like the issue on their site. But you know, it kind of felt like it happened after I sent that video. Because again, it was like broken for a couple of updates, and no one was saying a thing. But again, could be me, but it doesn't matter. As long as it fixed, I'm happy. I don't care about the source. So well, so that's one. Another thing I would like to add is certainly more detail, but UEFN doesn't like a lot when you do crazy detail. But I guess I'll see. Also, I guess I would like to just set up like different rounds too, because as you can see, every time the match ends, it just completely makes another instance. But it's just that when I try to make like rounds, I don't know the way Fortnite or UEFN handles like match resets, but it resets the entire world. Which I mean, I guess I get right, because I mean, if you destroy like terrain or whatever, then you need to respawn them and just give them health. Call them again. But I think it also resets like the terrain, and it's like the terrain does not change. You don't need to change that. It says that apparently it's on memory, so it doesn't, but I don't know though. Point being, on every round restart, it will absolutely destroy the game. Like, my computer will hang for like, well, not my computer entirely, but Fortnite on my computer will hang for like 10 to 15 seconds, and then you're back just, you know, on round 2. But on Xbox, where I was also testing this, it will outright crash. So I assume it was just a huge spike in performance that just kills the instance, which I assume is because of the many devices, again 64 like car spawners, and just the vehicle spawner here and there and all those places. So I would like to fix that so you can have as many rounds as you want, or at least 25, just, you know, player retention and whatnot. Because anytime the player is stopped from playing, you lose their retention and they want to do something else. So even on the you win and just queue for the next round, that just gives the opportunity to the player to just stop playing, okay? It's all about player retention. Anyway, so that, I guess I will also like to add like custom voice line, just, you know, when Megalodon just harsh talking in the mic. I'm pretty sure I can do it myself with just a modulator voice or whatever. It'd be too hard, right? Just make an immortal Joe impression. So that, I guess I also mentioned like UI changes, just enough so you feel like you're playing like a different experience than just another UEFN island. So I guess that's that. Different modes, maybe, I don't know. No, I was thinking, should I make it capture the flag or something like that? No, it's like, it's not for that type of game. I'm saying it's impossible to do that, but I think I would prefer just focus on the vehicles. I mean, maybe you can put like one flag here, one flag there, and just spawn around here, and just let them handle it like that, but, well, I think it will be better if it's just keep it simple. Team deathmatch. No storm. Just whoever gets 50 eliminations wins, that type of deal. But anyways, I guess that's that. So, bottom line, I'm actually glad that I managed to just make this island in 2 weeks, publish it, and just, you know, have a working product, which was something that they wanted to focus on, the UEFN bootcamp, to have like a published thing instead of just another idea thrown into the trash or just constant like development hell. So, you know, that's good. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's that. I mean, I don't know what else I can show you. Also, the water over there is like the slurp water in that same season. You heal if you dip into it. Alright, well, so I guess that's that. Hopefully people play it and enjoy it, because at the end that's mainly what I want. I want people just to enjoy what I make, have a good time, and have fun. Anyways, so that's that. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you when I see you, everyone. Take care. Remember to stay safe. Brush your teeth, floss your teeth, drink water. I guess I'm just going to be putting the link to this island on my socials now, from now on. So, well, again, maybe I will just rename. Maybe I'm going to rename this in Wasteland Royale or something like that. So we'll see about that. Oh, and I guess I would also like to add the characters from that season as bosses to put their vehicles in whatever fashion I can, and maybe the medallions. But we'll cross that bridge when we have to cross it. Anyways, see yous. Kind of crazy that you can just see this profile and just get it straight into my Twitter or my YouTube channel from here. Well, anyway, see you.